Hello, dear inadequate people. In this video, we're going to talk about products that are proven to be effective in slowing down aging. And importantly, we understand how they work. Their mechanism of action has to do with altering epigenetic regulation. This concept is not as complicated as it may seem at first glance, despite its scientific-sounding name. As you know, each cell in our body contains a set of genes, which is located in 46 chromosomes. This set is very interesting in that the right genes are activated when they are needed. If you visualize the process from the very beginning, from the fertilized egg, which has only 46 chromosomes, it becomes clear how a whole organism develops from a single cell, with its many organs, tissues, and cells, each with its own function. And so the question arises, how can all these cells, despite having the same genetic set, be so different in appearance and function? The answer is simple. It's epigenetic regulation. Genes are the information in which everything that is needed to synthesize the molecules, proteins, and enzymes that support life is written. And epigenetics regulates when and which genes to activate or repress. You can think of it like this. As a human being goes through puberty, all the genes are the same, but suddenly the synthesis of testosterone or estradiol starts, and hormonal restructuring begins, which triggers further processes in the body. The same happens with osteoporosis, menopause in women, and it is all related to the activity of certain genes. At the pathological level, we also encounter such processes. For example, when a young person suddenly gets autoimmune thyroiditis, psoriasis, ulcerative colitis, or even cancer. This happens when certain genes start working or, conversely, do not work. They turn on or off for various reasons, which can lead to disease. A simple analogy can be given with your cell phone. It has many apps, and you decide when to activate each one: email, YouTube, or social media. If you didn't, your phone would have a million apps open at once, and you'd be confused. It's exactly the same with humans. As we age, epigenetic regulation can become disrupted, and aging appears because of it. This is known as disruption of our genetic programs. The theory of aging is now based on the idea that changes in epigenetic regulation lead to aging, and that they are caused by damage to genes, which in turn disrupts the production of proteins and enzymes that are supposed to regulate those genes. Over time, errors accumulate in them, which only exacerbates the disruption of epigenetics, and we end up in a vicious cycle. But importantly, research has already shown that changes in epigenetics can even lead to cell rejuvenation. In 2012, a Nobel Prize was awarded for the discovery that an adult cell can be reprogrammed into a polypotent stem cell. That is, for example, a skin cell can be reprogrammed into a cell of another organ, such as a blood vessel or nervous system. In 2023, scientists led by David Sinclair showed that it is possible to rejuvenate a cell without genetic manipulation, but using a chemical cocktail that activates so-called Yamanaka factors. This allows the cell to be rejuvenated while retaining its identity, meaning it remains a skin cell, but its functions and condition become more youthful. This discovery opens up great prospects, as cell rejuvenation through reprogramming can raise concerns about oncogenesis, but in this case, the cell is simply rejuvenated without going into a stem state. Thus, based on current research, it can already be argued that manipulation at the epigenetic level can lead to cell rejuvenation. Of course, the mass application of these technologies is still a long way off, but while we wait, we can be helped by certain products that contain the necessary substances. All these substances have already been tested, and human studies have proven their effectiveness. So let's now move on to the list of such foods that can help us slow down aging. So, the first substance that has a significant effect on reducing inflammation, preventing cancer, and has antioxidant properties is betaloin. This substance is found in our familiar red beets. The next component is catechin and epicatechin. These substances, as many people remember, are found in green tea and apples. They have antioxidant effects and actively fight inflammation. Another important component that I think you are familiar with is curcumin. This spice has long been known in Oriental medicine, but only recently have scientists begun to understand exactly how it affects the body at the level of genes. Curcumin can turn on protective genes and turn off inflammatory genes. This is especially important as we age, because chronic inflammation is one of the main causes of aging and age-related diseases. Curcumin literally reconfigures epigenetic markers. Plus, it helps in the prevention of diseases like cancer, Alzheimer's, and diabetes. This has been confirmed by numerous studies. That being said, curcumin is safe and affordable. However, it is important to remember, on its own, it is poorly absorbed. To improve its absorption, you should combine turmeric with black pepper. The piperine from the pepper increases the bioavailability of curcumin tenfold. Oleic acid is the next important constituent. It is a monounsaturated omega-9 fatty acid that is abundant in cold-pressed olive oil. It is a powerful antioxidant that helps reduce bad cholesterol, low-density lipoproteins, and increases the number of receptors to it. This is why olive oil has a favorable effect on our body. Lycopene, a substance we get from tomatoes, is also important for health. It is an antioxidant, has anti-inflammatory properties, and actively promotes epigenetic regulation. Studies show that lycopene slows the aging process and may even promote rejuvenation. Omega-3 fatty acids are something that just about everyone knows. Omega-3s are not just dietary fats. They influence the expression of hundreds of genes, especially those related to inflammation, metabolism, and heart health. Omega-3s reduce the activity of pro-inflammatory genes while enhancing the expression of protective genes. In addition, studies show that regular omega-3 intake may slow telomere shortening. These are the areas at the ends of chromosomes that shorten with age. The shorter they are, the higher the biological age. Omega-3s help slow this process. Omega-3s also have a positive effect on the brain, improving mood and reducing the risk of cognitive decline. Important, keep in mind that the balance between omega-3 and omega-6 fats is critical. Modern diets often contain excess omega-6, from sunflower oil, for example, which can negate the benefits of omega-3. Try to reduce your omega-6 intake and increase your omega-3 intake, especially for marine fish. Quercetin is a powerful flavonoid found in apples, and especially in large quantities in onions, as well as capers, berries, and herbs. It is known for its anti-inflammatory and antioxidant properties, but its effects on epigenetics are just as interesting. Quercetin's main feature is its ability to suppress the silent inflammation, i.e., chronic, hidden inflammation, that accumulates with age and accelerates cellular deterioration. But even more importantly, quercetin is able to destroy zombie cells or senescent cells, which are damaged cells that stop dividing but continue to secrete harmful substances, increasing the aging of surrounding tissues. Quercetin helps the body get rid of these cells, thereby slowing down aging at the cellular level. It also affects the activity of epigenetic enzymes. For example, it can inhibit histone acetyltransferases, which alters the expression of genes associated with inflammation, metabolism, and longevity. Important, quercetin works well in conjunction with resveratrol, enhancing its effects. and its benefits are maximized when it is taken regularly. Resveratrol is another beneficial substance that influences epigenetics, protecting chromosomes from damage by external factors and providing vascular protection. Resveratrol activates proteins of the sirtuin family, which are kind of watchdog proteins that maintain proper DNA function and participate in cell repair. They are also involved in regulating metabolism and helping the body cope with stress. Most importantly, sirtuins are directly linked to longevity. In animal experiments, resveratrol slowed aging and prolonged life, improved memory, and reduced the risk of heart disease. In addition, resveratrol suppresses inflammation, improves insulin sensitivity, and activates epigenetic mechanisms that maintain cellular youth. But as with curcumin, the bioavailability of resveratrol is low. It is rapidly broken down in the body. Therefore, it is better to get it regularly from food or use special supplements with an improved form. The next hero is sulforaphane, a natural substance found in cruciferous vegetables, broccoli, cauliflower, and Brussels sprouts. Sulforaphane is a powerful activator of detoxification genes, as well as antioxidant enzymes that help the cell get rid of toxins and neutralize harmful molecules. It literally turns on the defense programs within the cell. In addition, sulforaphane affects cancer-related genes. It suppresses tumor growth, and in some cases even triggers their self-destruction. It also improves cardiovascular and brain function. Most interestingly, sulforaphane activates the so-called NRF2 pathway, which regulates many other protective genes. This is one of the key mechanisms of cellular defense, especially in the elderly. Important: the maximum amount of sulforaphane is found in young broccoli sprouts, 10 to 100 times more than in mature vegetables. And, of course, garlic, known for its cancer-preventing properties. All these substances are confirmed by scientific studies and are important elements of our diet. As you can see, they are readily available and can be included in your daily diet. However, it is important to realize that they are not a panacea. Epigenetic regulation is a multifaceted process that does not depend solely on what we eat. Other factors, such as physical activity level, water quality, climate, and even education also play an important role. And while these components can keep you healthy, don't assume that if you eat only tomatoes you won't age, and vice versa. If I have a relative who ate onions and garlic all the time and it didn't work and died young, I'm just going to do nothing. But that's up to you. Epigenetics is a complex system, and your health is affected by many factors. Thank you very much for your attention. See you next time.